It was just past midnight when the skies above Gotham burned with the glow of distant fire. The city pulsed with life, but beneath the shifting neon and restless traffic, the shadows grew longer, heavier. For years, those shadows had been home sanctuary and battlefield to the man known as Batman. But now, they belonged to something different. Something darker. Once, Bruce Wayne donned the cowl to fight for justice, to keep the innocent safe and the guilty fearful. He moved in silence, a ghost among the alleys, driving back crime brick by brick. Gotham's underworld grew to fear him. Its citizens whispered prayers of gratitude for him. But a single night redefined everything. The night Batman broke. It hadn't happened all at once. There was no singular event, a bomb in the street, a tragedy in the manor, only the slow, grinding erosion that followed years of fighting a war that could not be won. Gotham's tide of crime ebbed, surged, and crashed ceaselessly. Every victory felt smaller, every loss more devastating. In time, the darkness that gave him cover began to seep inside. Bruce noticed it at first only as impatience, then as irritation, and finally as something less easily named. He stood atop the GCPD headquarters, rain hammering his cape, the bat signal sliced against the clouds behind him. Commissioner Gordon waited beside him, a man with his own scars watching Batman brood in silence. "You look tired," Gordon ventured. "I'm always tired," Batman replied, his voice hollow. Gordon hesitated, weighing words as only a cop can. "We lost another rookie tonight." "You could have stopped it." Batman turned, the cowl shadowing his face. "Could I?" His voice was sharp, almost accusing. "How many stop signs do we put at the edge of a cliff before we build a fence, Jim? How many more do I have to bury before Gotham learns?" Gordon recoiled. He'd seen Batman angry, but not like this. There was something final in his tone. A week later, Gotham changed. It started as a rumor whispered in back alleys. A mob enforcer vanished, a crime lord found beaten but alive, his empire dissolved overnight. People began to notice patterns. Criminals disappeared, but not into Arkham or Blackgate. Entire gangs folded, resources siphoned away, replaced by organized, almost surgical control. Batman's methods grew harsher. He stopped seeking alliance with the police. He no longer delivered criminals to the GCPD, nor left coded warnings or evidence. Instead, he dismantled operations, absorbing their networks, corrupting their infrastructure, controlling their flow. Selina Kyle Catwoman was the first to suspect. She met with Bruce in a vacant penthouse, the cityscape sprawling beneath them. The room was cold, shadows slicing across polished marble. "You're changing the rules, Bruce," she said, sliding her gloved hand into his. There was worry in her eyes. "You're crossing lines you swore never to cross." His jaw clenched. "The rules never mattered, Selina. Not if they don't work." She drew back, a delicate, almost imperceptible movement, part fear, part heartbreak. "This isn't justice. This is power. You can't fix Gotham by becoming the thing you hate." He looked at her, searching for understanding, hoping for validation. But he saw only someone slipping away. The city adapted, as it always did. The criminal element, so used to chaos, found itself under new management, one ruthless, unyielding, and omnipresent. Petty crime plummeted. Syndicates folded with no one left to take the reins. The police found their jobs easier, but felt a growing unease. There were no trials, no rehabilitation, only disappearances. Bruce built his new kingdom from the bones of the old. Wayne Enterprises' vast resources, his own uncanny knowledge, surveillance technology, and a network of broken souls former foes, bribed or blackmailed, created a system that saw all, controlled all. Gordon finally reached out, seeking an audience with the man behind the mask. The Batcave, once a symbol of hope, echoed with machines whirring, monitors aglow, and the silhouette of a man lost in his own myth. "Is this what you wanted?" Gordon demanded. "A city ruled by fear, yes, crime's down, but so is hope. You don't scare only the guilty anymore, Bruce. You scare everyone." Batman's voice was steel, unyielding. "A city that fears me is a city that obeys. No more murders in alleyways, no more orphans." "Only order," Gordon shook his head, grief creasing his features. "You created a nightmare, Bruce. You are the nightmare now," the city noticed. Ordinary citizens, once awed by the legend of the Bat, locked their doors at dusk for fear of drawing his gaze. Gotham, it seemed, had traded chaos for tyranny. Alfred, ever faithful, confronted his charge one gray morning in the manor's library. Master Wayne, I served your parents, and I have served you, tended wounds, buried secrets, watched you break and rebuild. But this path leads only to ruin. Bruce's voice was tired, but unrepentant. It leads to control, Alfred. No more pain, no more loss. Alfred's eyes glimmered with sorrow. At what cost? Bruce hesitated. For a moment, the steel mask cracked. He saw himself painted as the villain, the judge, the jailer. He saw the fear in Selina's eyes, the bitterness in Gordon's words, the sadness in Alfred's resignation. But when he looked out over the city, watched it unfold in perfect, ordered silence, he told himself it was worth it. And in that moment, Gotham City belonged to the villain it once called its hero, the Bat, who had become the darkness, and the man who had forgotten how to step into the light.